What's poppin', man? It's Audio Al, and you're listening to Hidden Oaks Overdose Football Fix right here on YouTube, Spotify, or any of your favorite streaming apps.
Thank you, Al. That is correct. It is Wednesday, August 24th, 2022, 8 p.m. sharp. This is podcast number 102. Figure we added in a little more zest than last time. I'm not going to sit here and play the Walters intro, though, because I don't have it all queued up. But Josh, we've predicted 272 games. We talked about half of the teams last week. We got 16 teams to go. It's the NFC this week. But before we hop into that, pal, as always, how ya darn?
It is darn. How ye darn.
I genuinely did not understand your answer. And so, assuming there's other people like me
Jesse translator
out there.
on.
Okay.
I'm doing well. How are you, good sir?
Well, I'm not ashamed to talk about it, I guess. Could be better. I won't sit here and pretend like I was in some sort of 5-year relationship where I lived with someone and we had joint financials and this and that, but dealing with a little bit of a breakup situation, which, no one ever starts dating someone with the hopes of breaking up. So could be better, could be worse. Luckily we're in therapy, but some tears have been shed. A lot of tears have been shed over the last 24 hours. So, it's the world's not going to end by any means, but certainly could be happier. But the show must go on, Josh, and honestly, probably couldn't have happened at a better time. So I'll really get to sink into football here this fall. So I don't know. I could be doing better, but could be doing worse, pal.
I will apologize for shedding all those tears. I didn't mean to cry on you that much.
Yeah, it happens.
But it's like you said, it's part of life. It's unfortunate. I was sorry to hear that. More so sorry that I didn't get to enjoy the company of you when you told me, so I could give you a big old hug. But I'll see you this weekend, and my shorts, they will be a short. So you'll get some good old Josh thigh.
The chubbies will be complimented with your chubby? Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, I mean, yeah. So obviously, chubby's shorts are the only shorts that you should be wearing, especially when the sun's out, the sky's out. Sky's out, thighs out. Hell yeah, brother. But I always go on their sale because they have a bunch of discontinued shorts, and when I find some in my size, I usually just buy them. I don't care what they look like as long as I got the 7-inch inseam, 6-inch minimum inseam there, and they they fit. And I bought some, and there's just a bunch of toucans all over it. Can't wait to pop them bad boys on.
Toucans? Were there any loops of fruit accompanying this toucan, or no?
No. These are the real toucans, the ones that are, in the jumble, doing a whole bunch of jumble animal things.
All right. Well, glad to hear you're doing good. I'm gonna be all right. You want to hop right into the NFC teams here, or what?
Yeah. Should we do alternating reverse alphabetical order by head coach's maiden name?
Are you prepared to do that? Because, if so, we can do that. But, you'll just have to take the lead on that.
Using an educated guess, I'm going to go ahead and assume that it is the exact same order of alphabetization as the teams are. So it worked out.
That is pretty dang handy, Josh. All right, well, I'll go ahead and start then with them Arizona Cardinals, getting right into it. I've got the Cardinals going 10-7 this year. Obviously, Kyler Murray's been getting a lot of heat this summer for some sort of studying game film stipulation in his contract that has apparently been taken out right afterwards. Who knows what the hell's going on with all that, but it's interesting nonetheless. Also, that little infographic we all saw on Reddit, if you're a fan. Kyler Murray's going to stink as soon as that COD comes out. And they're re-releasing Modern Warfare 2 or remastering Modern Warfare 2, whatever the hell they're doing. So, Kyler Murray's absolutely screwed. So I think 10-7, most of the wins will come before Call of Duty is released. It's easy for them to rack up wins when they're playing Seattle twice and stuff like that. So I don't think Arizona's going to be a great team, but I got them power ranked 15.
Yeah, I had them a little bit worse than you. They're power ranked 18 on mine, but I had them going 8-9 for the same reasons you alluded to with COD being a good one. But then they're also missing DeAndre Hopkins. Hollywood Brown's probably going to get arrested for speeding because apparently his 135 or whatever in a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit zone was his like second speeding ticket within a week and a half or 2 weeks. Because the first one was like 71 and a 40. I don't know. But hey, Hollywood Brown wants to go fast, and we all know how that worked out for Henry Ruggs. So maybe I think they were in the same draft class.
Jesus, Josh, you can't say that.
What is it, Henry Carpet?
Yes, that's what I meant.
Okay.
That's what I was inferring.
But no, I mean, he's got to get his head out of his ass. But no DeAndre, no Christian, $72 million guaranteed Kirk in a wideout room. So it's going to be, I think it's going to take a little bit of a time for him to adjust. And then once DeAndre comes back, actually, I think that's going to be about the same time COD comes out. So it'll be a little bit of, here, DeAndre, please catch this.
Right, just DeAndre down there somewhere, like all the memes say.
Yep. But yeah, so I had them going 8 and 9.
And what do you got in power ranked? And what's the difference between us?
8 with so we were 3 apart on that one.
All right, pal. Well, if you first finish up the Cardinals, that means you can take the next team to start.
I had the Atlanta Falcons going 3 and 14. I mean, their best offensive weapon is Cordarrelle Patterson, and he was bounced around between 3 different teams where he could not find offensive success. So it's a little bit offensive to the people of Atlanta to have that as their number one option.
Kyle Pitts, my guy?
Their number one running back option, I guess. I don't know. Kyle Pitts is decent. But yeah, 3 and 14. They lost Matty Ice. I don't believe that Mariota is the guy. He might be able to scramble around a little bit, but he's shown that he can be supplanted by somebody else at quarterback. I had them power ranked 31.
Dang. All right. Well, this is one of those teams where I don't feel like Marcus Mariota's not bad. It's just one of those teams where it's like some teams had to be fucking trash, right? I can't have a bunch of teams sitting at 8 and 9 or whatever it was. So I got the Falcons going 3 and 14 as well. Not perfectly similar to the Steelers, but another team that I think should be better. But I just don't think they're going to be. I think they'll play spoiler more for maybe the Falcons or the Saints if they're on the bubble or something, kind of win some of those divisional games. But it's hard to give the Falcons many wins. So I had them power rank 30 at 3 and 14. So we both think they're absolute bottom of the barrel. But moving on then, since we both just hate Atlanta, I'll go ahead and talk about one of their division rivals, the Carolina Panthers. I have the Carolina Panthers going 6 and 11. I think Baker Mayfield raises their floor. Obviously, they traded for him. Or they traded for him, or is he released? I forget. I think they traded for him, right? Anyways.
Yep, they traded.
Yeah. So I think that raised their floor a bit over Sam Darnold for sure. CMC is a big question mark. CMC could easily be a plus or minus 3 wins kind of guy, depending on what his prediction is this year. He's just such a dynamic football player. Yeah, but I don't, I think they'll just be beating, they're some of those mediocre teams that'll beat up on the absolute bottom of the barrel like the Falcons, and maybe they'll win a spoiler game or 2 or a trap game, but, they're not going to do anything crazy. 6 and 11, I got them power ranked 23. Sorry about it.
Yeah, I had them a little bit worse than you at 4 and 13 for a record, with power rank 28, so a difference of 5 there. I mean, I do feel like this team's kind of a wild card. Baker does raise their floor, so 4 wins is probably the absolute minimum I'd give them. I could see them going, 8 and 9 or something if they get on a streak with CMC. But I mean, as far as that team goes, they've got, Sam Darnold. They just lost their rookie quarterback forever, it sounds like, with Liz Frank. They've got Baker. They had PJ. So they a bunch of different quarterbacks rolling through, and obviously Baker's going to start there. But if his shoulder isn't necessarily 100%, he gets trotted off, and they put Sam Darnold in. I mean, it's one of those teams where I expect them to score a TD for the wrong team.
For the wrong team, huh? Just run it the wrong way. What was that? Johnny Randall? Some Viking did that, right? I thought it was John Randall.
Marshall.
Oh, whoever it was. But yeah, dude, absolutely wild. But all right, we both got them in the bottom half of the league for sure. You got them a little further down than I do, but how about them Bears, Josh?
So I've actually predicted this before their preseason debacles. I had them going 5 and 12. -5 and 23 is probably more accurate. But I mean, it sounds like they're just a struggle busting. Their wide receiver core might be worse than Green Bay Packers wide receiver core, and that's only and the only reason Green Bay Packers is better is because Romeo Dobbs. I had them, power rank 26, so a little bit better than Carolina, just because I do think that some of their schedule is a little bit easier and they could win with Fields' legs. But overall, not a pretty year for Chicago. Sorry, Bert.
I do think it's kind of nuts that Burt McStuffin, shut up. I do think it's kind of crazy that you have Chicago getting more wins than Carolina, because I feel the absolute opposite. I have Chicago going 2-15. I mean, Ryan Poles already seems to be an iffy GM just with how he's been handling. Is it Roquan Smith? Is that the right linebacker I'm thinking of? How they've been handling that star player and whether or not to re-sign him. I understand he's representing himself and he has no agent, so that makes it kind of tough within the rules too. But 2-15 is what I got for them with Eberflus. I mean, defensive-minded head coaches. I mean, Staley's doing all right out in LA for the Chargers, but other than that, like, how many defensive-minded coaches are really like dominating the league? I wouldn't say Bill Belichick's a defensive-minded coach necessarily. So maybe this team, he's a special teams guy at his heart. But yeah, I don't think the Chicago team is going to do anything this year. Maybe in a couple years, but I got them power rank 32. Sorry about it, Bert. But yeah, I got Chicago literally at the bottom of the barrel. But we have a difference of 6 there between the two of us. Moving on.
Nothing would make me happier.
Right. Moving on to the Dallas Cowboys, Josh. This one was a little controversy for us. I have the Dallas Cowboys going 12-5. I mean, that offense is pretty potent. I mean, Dak is really good. CeeDee Lamb's coming into his own. Michael Gallup sounds like he's right back on track to be here for week 1, if not week 2. I'm still very high on Zeke. Tony Pollard, just set of a player. The defense just seems to keep getting better. They got Micah Parsons, whatever his last name is, last year. Yeah, I'm struggling to think right now and struggling to talk a bit. But yeah, I don't know. I think this team's really good. I don't think this team's really good because of Mike McCarthy. I think it's probably another situation like Mike McCarthy was in Green Bay where the team is good despite him. But Kellen Mond not Kellen Mond. What's our offensive coordinator's name? It's something pretty similar to Kellen Mond, isn't it? Or something Kellen? I don't know.
Kellen Moore,
there it is. Yeah, he seems to know what they're doing, and they get a lot of offensive plays off. It's just kind of their, a high-tempo offense. So I like them. I think they're going to do a lot of things. I think they're good for fantasy. I think they're good for football. I got them going 12-5. Power rank 4, Josh. I got them power ranked all the way up at 4. I'd love to hear you absolutely rip that apart. What do you got for the Cowboys?
Yeah, I had them with a winning record, just barely 9-8. I agree with a lot of what you said about their offense being potent. It does seem that they got rid of Cooper, who he wasn't necessarily the wide receiver 1. It was CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is coming into his own, like you said. He's got an ankle injury. Michael Gallup's been hurt. After that, I'm not sure. Dalton Schultz is a pretty actually solid tight end. I do like him. Dak is good. I mean, he's a solid player. He'll get some points on his own, just improvising. Tony Pollard is a stud. I mean, I do agree their offense is great. But then I look over there and I see that barbecue guzzling big Mike McCarthy, who I had to watch for 45 years in Green Bay, Eddie McStuffin's legging Lacey to run sweeps every other play. And Eddie Lacy ain't a guy to sweep anything except, the fry dust off his pants. And so he's due to have Zeke run 35 times straight up the middle without a center playing. And I'm here for it. But yeah, 9-8 is what I had him going. I do think that, if they do finish different than that, it would definitely be better, not worse, just because they are a playoff team. But who knows? They might slide instead of spike.
I mean, they're absolutely going to win their division, right?
Well, I don't know. We'll talk about a few of their teams.
All right. What do you got for the Lions, Josh?
I have them going 6-11. I didn't take any notes just because it's kind of been spot on with Detroit lately, or in recent history where, there's not much to say. It's just, it's Detroit. It's that kid at the park that you invite to play because his parents are sitting there kind of with their arms crossed and with sad face because he doesn't have any friends. So you're like, hey, come on, Lion, come over here. Let's play. MCDC, he's probably going to be the only reason they get 6 wins because he's going to suit up and Goff. Goff should probably stick to playing Goff, the 18-hole course thing. But I got them going 6-11 for power rank 22.
Josh, you obviously haven't been watching Hard Knocks, have you? 3 episodes out. You could have been doing your homework. HBO. What's your problem?
$14.99 a month, and I don't use it.
Josh? You listening to me? What's your problem?
I mean, I watched some Barry Sanders highlights. That should have given me enough knowledge about the Detroit Lions.
I got the Detroit Lions going 9-8. You said you didn't write any notes. Literally all I have in my notes section in all caps is Motor City Dan Campbell. I got him power rank 20. You had him power rank 22. It's only a difference of 2. So we're kind of thinking the same thing, even though you have them with a losing record, which is absolute disrespect to MCDC. Jared Goff is a Super Bowl quarterback. You need to put some respect on his name.
And man, 23 through three weeks to the regular season, he's the best quarterback in the league, apparently.
The way it should be. All right, Josh, we're moving on to your bread and butter division rival of these Lions is going to be them, Green Bay Packers. And I got them going 11-6, and it's not. I don't want to sit here and absolutely disrespect the Packers because I'm sure Josh will have his blood boil. But I'm really curious what this team does with Adams gone. Like, obviously, it's pretty memeable at this point, but Adams was legitimately a huge part of that offense, and so I'm giving Green Bay the benefit of the doubt. I think 11-6 might be closer to their ceiling than a lot of years past. I mean, this team could be potent. Aaron could put it all together. Aaron could make a bunch of no-name receivers into studs. That's definitely possible. But this is one of the teams that was so tough for me. So I just decided they've been good for a while. Matt LaFleur, cramming it up his cram hole, seems to know some stuff. Aaron Rodgers is an extremely talented quarterback. A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones are pretty good. Defense is getting better. So this team could absolutely dominate, or this team could be absolute trash with no offense. There's only one way to find out, but I got them power ranked 8, going 11-6.
Yeah, I have them, with one more win, 12-5. I do think that, obviously Devonta Adams is top 2, not 2. So his absence will be noticed. But I do think that with his absence, there's opportunity for Aaron to spread the ball around more because, let's face it, after Devonta on the team last year, we had nobody. 2 years ago, nobody. 3 years ago, nobody. 4 years ago, I don't even remember. But, there has never been a guy that Rodgers looks at second. So now that he doesn't have Devonta, he's got a whole bunch of people to look at. And I don't know.
A whole bunch of nobodies? Because, Alan Lazard's still here. Robert Tunyon's still here.
I mean, those two guys, yeah. But, he didn't have the trust that, Devonta had or Adams or Cobb. Cobb's still here, but, his walker can only be on the field for so long. I think that, the rookies obviously got to get their act together, get the routes run properly in order to earn that trust. But he has talked a lot of praise about Dobbs. He's talked a lot of praise about Winfrey, who made some solid catches the other night from Jordan Love.
He also praised up Jake Kumro. And where's he right now, pal?
I think he's selling cheese curds at the concession stand down there. But
good for him.
But so he's and somebody. Obviously the Packers subreddit, they're going to toss a few things out here and there to try and solidify their reasoning and to help with the heartbreak. But Rodgers' stats without Adams is actually a lot better than with Adams because of how much he forces the ball. But it's he has really good stats with Adams, so why not? In my mind, in last year's game against the San Fran in the playoffs, there was a play where Adams was running a seam route up the left side, and Lazard kind of broke off in a post, I believe, and there were 3 guys on Adams and absolutely nobody within 15 feet of Lazard, and he tried to squeak it into Adams. Because of that, it's Adams, but I think that now that there's a little bit more freedom to where he can throw the ball because of the lack of trust in everybody, he's just going to throw it to the open guy. So, yeah, I think that my hopes are being drowned out right now by false hope. But I have him going 12-5. Really hoping it's not 5-12. Power rank 8.
Well, we were dead on both on the power ranking, so I guess we'll find out. What do you got for the Rams then, Josh? Defending, reigning, undisputed world champions.
Yeah, they're the Super Bowl champs. I mean, they lost a couple guys in the offseason, but then they lost Stafford's arm. It sounds like I mean, obviously he's going to play. He could have it.
I hope they find
amputated it. Yeah. He's gonna, if he gets it amputated, he'd probably still be able to throw the ball with his other one. I have him going 11-6. They lost Von Miller on defense. They lost a couple other guys on offense. I'm drawing blanks on names now. Nobody major. OBJ might have been the biggest name, but I do think that the Super Bowl hangover will get them, and they're power ranked 12 on my list.
Yeah, that's always the tough part, right? Like, we always come in here and be like, all right, the defending Super Bowl champ, the team looks pretty similar. Like, whoever wins the Super Bowl, like, blows it up, and then you think they're going to tank. So that's always the tough part with these forecasts and projections and mocks or whatever you want to call them. But I got the Rams going 12-5. It was hard for me to give them less wins because, I mean, again, they did lose OBJ and, Bobby Woods, but then they added, Allen Robinson. And Van Jefferson's, a very capable wide receiver 3. They added Bobby Wagner, right? So, I mean, that defense should still be stacked. They lost Von Miller, but they added Bobby Wagner. Still got Jalen Ramsey. Still got Aaron fucking Donald, dude. Generational, like, maybe not once in a lifetime D tackle, but like probably the best D tackle in our lifetime for sure. So yeah, I mean, no, it's really hard for me to give them less than 12 wins. Of course, there's the Super Bowl hangovers and there's this and that. I could have gone in there and given them some random losses if I wanted to, but this is a team that should be pretty good. I don't have them power ranked 1. That's where I got the Bills. Matt's arm is a question mark. Who knows? But I got him power ranked 5. And so we were pretty different on that one. You give him more of a Super Bowl hangover than I did. But, between your 12 and my 5, we both agree they're going to be a playoff-bound team. So, we should see some good things from the Rams this year. Moving on, Josh. We got the Minnesota Vikings. I got them going 9-8. I talked about it last time. I didn't perfectly follow the rule because I really liked Miami, but generally, first-year head coaches just, there's a lot that goes into that, and maybe Kevin O'Connell's being an absolute god, but, I wrote in my notes here that they have the pieces to light the world on fire, so we won't. And so that's kind of how I'm just doom and gloom. This offense should be really good. Like, Kirk looks like he's going to be absolutely fine. Adam Thielen looks like he's back to form. Justin Jefferson, like, everyone has him as a top 2 or top 3 or top 4 receivers. Definitely top 5, usually top 3, depending on who you're asking. Dalvin Cook is still a good running back. Offensive line seems like it's getting better. So that offense should be really, really good. And so that's just, I can't believe in good things. I can't believe that we're going to have the nice things. And that defense was god-awful last year, and is changing the scheme really going to make the difference everyone thinks it's going to? And is the offense going to be able... So as bad as everyone thinks the defense was, and they were bad, but like the offense had, I think tied for the most 3-and-outs all of last year. So we were just an offense that stalled all the time. If Kevin O'Connell can scheme us out of that, the defense won't look so bad because the offense is better. Maybe we have 12 fucking wins. I don't know, dude. I got us going 9-8. I just can't believe we're going to be a playoff team this year. I'd love to be wrong. I genuinely love the Vikings. I know I've hated on them the last couple years in these predictions, but I still miss Zimmer a little bit, And nothing against Kevin O'Connell. I think Kevin O'Connell is probably the right coach for this team right now, for sure, with the offensive pieces we have. But I got him power ranked 18. I don't think we're doing it this year. What do you think about your least favorite team, Josh?
Well, we're not talking about Seattle yet.
Oh, God.
The Minnesota Vikings. I had them going 11-6, so a little bit more than you. Power rank 10 for me, so a difference of 8 there. Kind of a big swing. But I mean, I don't know. Like you said, their offense is potent. I read a great thing on NFL subreddit about Kirk Cousins and his quarterbacking abilities, and he's it's hard to deny. He's a great quarterback. You look at the stats; he's always top 10 in most categories, all of that. But then the win-loss columns, it's a team game. So obviously that's taken into consideration, or I consider that. but he doesn't have the wins like some of the other great quarterbacks who are, on teams that are about the same. And then I read somebody's response to that, and they said Kirk Cousins is the guy that when it's 3rd and 14, he's going to throw the 6-yard crossing route because the guy is open and it's his second read and the first guy is covered. He's not going to be like Russell Wilson or anybody else who's going to throw that 25-yard streaking, hoping for the 50-50 ball. He's going to take that safe play. And I was like, that's actually pretty accurate. It may not be the check down. It may not be the, what I always said with the check down, but part of that might be scheme. And so that might be part of the reason why Cock is in. So I do think that they're better than what you said as far as their pieces go, but that defense is probably going to be holding them back for the most part. They might actually make the Green Bay offense look good at some point, which would be impressive. I don't know. I'm uncomfy on this team just because of all the changes that were made. I do want them to start off extremely bad so we get the Firecock chance going, but that's about.
Do you think the Firecock chance will start in they won't even give him multiple weeks in a year, or they won't even give him 8 games in 1 year? They think after 4 losses we'll want him out, or what?
Well, I think that 4 losses in a row, yeah, maybe 4 big losses in a row. Most likely you'll start seeing that on the subreddit.
Should have hired Harbaugh. What the fuck were we thinking?
Yep. But I'm thinking that the way to really fast track that is to let Green Bay come in and drop a 50 burger on you guys, and that it would literally be 30 seconds after the final buzzer sounds.
That's I would like to unsubscribe from your timeline there, but we both agree this Minnesota offense should be good. We'll fucking see, dude. What do you got for Nolans, Josh?
Have him going 9-8. Kind of a dependent on Kamara missing time. He's still a solid running back. I know he kind of fell off a little bit last year with things. I don't know if he was hurt or what. I don't remember. But Slant Man's going to be back, a.k.a. Michael Thomas. And so Kamara, with him, maybe missing time. I know that they said maybe not until 2023, but now Busby's representing the guy who he assaulted and is trying to push for now. And so I don't know. I think that Jameis, he's a solid quarterback, but I don't think that 30 for 30 is going to get him a 10-win season. So I had him 9-8 with power rank 17.
It's okay to be fucking wrong, Josh. I think I only gave him one more win. I have Nolans going 10-7. I think keep this team healthy and they will be in the playoffs 1,000,000,000%, dude. I think this again. I'm saying pending a healthy team because Jameis couldn't do it, and maybe Kamara's gone or Thomas tweaked something again. There's a lot of question marks and a lot of things that could go wrong for this team. I will fully admit, but keep this team healthy. The defense is pretty good. It sounds like the offense will be back with if Kamara stays. Winston healthy, a full 17 games. Thomas and who the fuck is it? Chris Olave, is that the rookie they drafted? That offense should be pretty fucking good. The defense should be pretty fucking good. I think 10-7 isn't their ceiling. I know some of these teams have said this is probably their ceiling. I don't think 10-7 is the Saints' ceiling. I think they'll surprise plenty of people this year, pending everything going right for them. I have them power ranked 14. You had them at 17, so we don't have them very far off. But I think they'll be a sneaky playoff team. So just a little bit of a disagreement there, but we both think they're not garbage. Moving on though to a team that you probably think is garbage. I've got the New York Giants going 8-9. Of course, the offensive coordinator from the Bills last year, Brian DeBole, he is now the head coach of the New York Giants after the Joe Judge experiment was ended. I think this team will actually be okay. I think DeBole will bring some good things. Obviously, Danny Dimes is not the quarterback a lot of people want him to be, but I think I'm saying the same things back to back with a healthy Saquon. Thibodeau gets back, week 2, week 3, week 4. I think this is going to be another one of those teams that'll surprise some people. I think the Giants aren't as bad as everyone thinks they're going to be. I think Danny Dimes is going to be serviceable. Hopefully they can pound the Brock with Saquon a bit, and I got him going 8-9, power rank 21, Josh. Why am I wrong?
You're wrong because Danny Dimes is Danny Doubtful. He sucks. He is, I don't know. I'm looking at Pro Football Reference right now. He is a turnover monster. to the point where he might as well just gift wrap a game ball and give it to the team every other drive. Now my page won't load, but I have them going 2-15. New head coach, like you said, probably won't perform as well as expectations are, or at least trends say that they won't. Kayvon Thibodeau is hurt already. Their number one wide receiver is exactly. Actually, I don't even know. Do they have a wide receiver?
I mean, Kenny Golladay, like I predicted last year Kenny Golladay was going to be absolute trash, but that's probably the number one. They've still got Sterling Sharp. They've still got other people
Sterling
I can't.
Sharp.
Sterling Shepard? Is that what I meant to say? Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah, this is... I'm trying, Josh. I'm trying.
I had to think for a second who you were talking about.
Sterling fucking
Sterling
something.
Shepard?
Yeah, no, Sterling Shepard. Yeah, but
I mean, I have them as the worst team in the NFL.
Right.
I don't think Jones is the guy. I think that they'll be, if they do show some hints of things, they'll start to tank at some point just to get that first overall pick. But yeah, I have them powering 32.
All right. What do you think about their division rival in Philly then, Josh?
Well, I got Philly going 5-12, but
jeez, NFC East just fucking stinks. Dallas is gonna mollywop them.
Yeah. No, the NFC East is the NFC least, as people sometimes say. I mean, their coach is one goofy goober. I said the goofy goober's got grit, gonna get good someday, just not this day. Jalen Hurts is a running back in disguise. They traded for AJ Brown to help out with that offense, and I do think that they'll show some promise down the line. But like I said, it's not their year this year. I think it's going to be another year for them. 5-12, power rank 25.
I mean, that's interesting. I got Philly going 8-9. I mean, I think A.J. Brown will help them a bit. I also think they're kind of wasting A.J. Brown. Jalen Hurts isn't bad. The coach is an absolute goofball. Those are my two notes. I don't. This team isn't a playoff team in my mind. Their roster is good enough to get plenty of wins out of sheer will or sheer luck or sheer force. Also helps that they do play the Giants and the Commanders a total of 4 times between those two teams. So that's just the way she goes, pal. Philly, I got 8-9. Power ranked 22. So even though we got them, 3 wins apart, we only got them power ranked, 2 ranks apart. So we both think Philly ain't it this year. Moving on, Josh, to another team that ain't it this year. We got the Seattle Seahawks. I'm starting to think they should rename the team to the Gum Chompers, just for your love and your endearment. But I got them going 4-13. I got them going 4-13. My note that I wrote was I hope they are imploding on purpose, and that this is a cocoon year. Like a lot of people out there are saying that. Pete Carroll is not a guy to stick around for a rebuild. I think they're just assuming that based on his age, whereas I think Pete Carroll still has 10 more coaching years than him. That dude seems to have one of the highest running motors there is out there, and he just doesn't stop. I think it was just today, Shaquem Griffin was on Pat McAfee, and he was talking about how Pete Carroll's just a different beast, dude. So I don't think Pete Carroll would be afraid to stick around for a rebuilding year or two to just give it one more good run. But this year ain't it with Drew Lock or Geno Smith. They locked down DK Metcalf a bit longer, but Kenneth Walker's already hurt. They lost some studs on defense. Rashad Penny has been so unreliable forever. Power rank 27. They garbage.
Yeah, I had them 4-13 as well, power rank 27. So we agreed on that, 100% basically. The only thing that I said for notes was no. Just no. It's like you said. I hope they're imploding on purpose because they are. I mean, they're having a quarterback competition between Geno Smith, who punched his own teammate or got punched by a teammate and needed to get his jaw wired, and he was a jet. Gross.
You put some respect on his name. Geno Smith ended Eli Manning's Iron Man streak. Okay.
That's true. And then I mean, yeah, but so would so would being told to keep your mouth shut because you wouldn't be able to breathe then. And then Drew Lock is the other guy in that quarterback competition. Both of them, you could put both of them on the field and you might have a quarter of a quarterback, but you got to pick one, and so they're sitting at an eighth. So I don't know. I don't like that team. Their run game, they were known for their run game, and now they're no, just no. Sorry, Seattle, you suck. Moving on to the same division, San Fran. A little bit more optimistic here. Got them going 11-6. Trey seems to be a guy, and then he seems not to be. And then he seems to be a guy, and then he seems not to be. But as long as he's mobile, he's in a run offense. That is definitely an offense that runs more of that West Coast, quick, get the ball out, that sort of thing. Their defense is solid. I have them 11-6, power rank 9.
Okay. Interesting. This is a team I thought you hated last year. Maybe you just hated Jimmy G, or I don't know what it was, but maybe I'm misremembering. I could be slandering your name accidentally. I've got a lot of things wrong tonight. All Sterling Sharp and whatever else the fuck I said. But I got the San Francisco 49ers panning for gold out there, going 11-6. I said it's time to see what Trey Lance has, but Shandy's too good to lose a lot. I think, certainly no one would ever give Jimmy Garoppolo, I think, is a good quarterback. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is a solid quarterback. No one would ever give Jimmy Garoppolo credit for carrying that team to the Super Bowl or carrying that team to the playoffs the multiple years they've been there. And so adding that mobility factor with Trey Lance, you hope it's greater than what they had with Jimmy Garoppolo, even if Trey Lance might need a little more work with delivering the ball, maybe the way Garoppolo could. But I can't bet against Mike Shanahan. I just can't bring myself to do it. And so even with the loss of Bobby Saleh 2 years ago and then Mike McDaniel this year, Mike Shanahan runs that team through and through. I got them power ranked 11, and so we both kind of think they're top 10-ish team, top 12-ish team, playoff bound for show. Moving on, though, Josh, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I was just going to say Gronkaneers, but that's dead until Thanksgiving when Tom's desperate. But I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going 13-4. Kind of the same argument I was using with the 49ers with Shanahan. It's hard to argue against Brady. And the fact that he's going to feel even more rejuvenated. He just got to perform on The Masked Singer. Got to take 11 days off of training camp. I mean, good for him. And I can't wait to see his performance on The Masked Singer. But how are you going to vote against Brady? You just can't do it. I mean, I'm starting to get worried here as I see news come of they keep losing offensive linemen. That's never a good strategy, but Mike Evans is still goated. Chris Godwin's still really, really good. Leonard Fournette should be fine. I know there's talk about his lasagna Lenny weight early, but there seems to be no more concern about that at all. Getting here close to the season. So I got him going 13-4, power rank 3. Tom should be up there for one more ring run, I think.
I have them going 13-4 as well, power rank 3. So another one that we're pretty much locked in on. I think that they start 0-4 while Brady recoups from his private island wifey time because he's a little old. He's got some old hips, so he's got to kind of recover from that. But
she is a Brazilian supermodel, so I mean,
and she's the breadwinner in that family, believe it or not.
She has to be.
But so I all joking aside, 13-4, hard to go against Brady. Losing offensive linemen, I think there was one point in time where I logged on the Reddit like 4 days in a row and saw that they had lost 4 centers, like all 4 centers, just dead. So whatever that quarterback is doing, just stop doing it. You don't need to get that deep up there when you're going under center. But I do think that they're going to be a playoff team, and Brady's going to be back in relevancy for the Super Bowl again.
All right, final
Moving
team, Josh.
To the Commies. I have them going 4-13. I just don't see it. They had Tyler Heineke last year. He got dinged up a bit. And then they go out and they grab Carl Wentz, as they say on McAfee, or as Connor calls him. But yeah, Carl is not the guy. He's going to have some explosive plays, and then he's going to have some boneheaded ones. He's essentially a Jalen Hurts, Daniel Jones hybrid. So I think that they'd have to get somebody else to take his role, and they do a little bit better. But Antonio Gibson seems to have lost a step. Terry McLaurin wasn't necessarily all that happy with the situation up until it's preseason. So we will see. I have them powering 30. Not too fond of them this year.
Sure. I got the Commies going 5-12, so just slightly better than you. I love Ron Rivera. think he's a good guy. I think he's a good coach. You know, I'm sure as you've seen with how I still talk about Zimmer to this day, I just can fall in love with people and fall in love with coaches, not necessarily linking it to their skill or if they're right for the team or for the league. But Ron Rivera is a good guy. Like Ron Rivera a lot. This team just seems to lack an X factor. They're kind of maybe wasting Chase Young a little bit at this point, which, you know, Chase Young couldn't do anything about it. He got drafted by him. So, but yeah, you talk about Carson Wentz. The biggest thing with Carson Wentz is he's got. I don't take offense to this, Josh. Let me get through my explanation, okay? But Carson Wentz is definitely a guy who has the spirit of Brett Favre inside of him, and that no play is ever dead for Carson Wentz. And he, some people talk about it on the radio. We talk about Pat a lot, but he thinks he's going to be able to go out there and score 25 points on one play and put the entire team on his back. But he doesn't have near the skill nor the luck that Favre had a lot. And so what it ends up looking like is a guy out there struggling, scrambling around, looking for anything in any avenue. He doesn't want to ever throw the ball away. He's always looking downfield. He's always looking for, something that could turn into a miracle. But, it leads to a lot of heartache and some picks and some fumbles, and it's just, yeah, I think Carson's washed at this point. He had a good run with the Eagles, obviously drafted, second overall at NDSU. Good for him. But I think, yeah, this is going to be kind of his Swan-ish type song, or he becomes a journeyman and hops around the league. But sorry about it.
Yeah.
I got him power rank 25, though, slightly higher than you.
Yeah.
Well, Josh, that was all 16 NFC teams. It looks like you did some things with some stats on things and stuff. Would you rather talk about playoff scenarios first, or would you rather talk about some of the stuff you worked on? It looks like you did some notes about what games we agreed on, or where we agreed.
Yeah, we could do playoff scenarios first.
Okay. I'm prepared for that for sure. I already talked about my AFC teams last week, but going in reverse order of playoff teams, so 7th seed to 1st seed, I've got the Bengals, the Chiefs, the Dolphins, the Ravens, the Chargers, the Titans, and the Buffalo Bills making the AFC playoffs. For the NFC, I've got Arizona in the 7th seed, so just barely making it. I've got the New Orleans Saints in the 6th seed. I've got the San Francisco 49ers in the 5th seed. I've got the Green Bay Packers in the 4th seed winning the North. I've got the Rams in the 3rd seed winning the West. I've got the Cowboys in the 2nd seed winning the East. And I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the 1st seed winning the South. My 2 Super Bowl teams, I've got Buffalo playing Dallas. And I got Buffalo winning it all, Josh. That's what I got. What do you got?
In reverse order for the AFC, I have Cincinnati in 7th, and then the Chargers in 6th, Titans in 5th, Chiefs in 4th, Colts in 3rd, the Ravens in 2nd, and then the Bills in 1st. Coming in the NFC in reverse order, the 7th seed, I have Nolans, and then Dallas in 6th, San Fran in 5th, the Vikings in 4th, the Rams in 3rd, although the Vikings couldn't be in 4th just because of the division. I just went by overall records. Rams in 3rd. Pack is in 2nd. And then the Tampa Bay's in 1st.
Do the Vikings go invade another division and win that one instead?
They might.
We go take over the East.
If I wanted to be actual, they'd be the 6th seed and Dallas would be the 4th.
There you go.
But it wouldn't matter because I'm not doing the entire playoff bracket. These are just the 7 teams from each division. And my Super Bowl champions are going to be the Buffalo Bills because they're the hot team. And they're going to be playing the San Francisco 49ers.
Interesting. You got Trey Lance in a Super Bowl. Okay, you like to see it.
No. Trey Lance won't be in the Super Bowl.
Didn't you just say?
It's unfortunate, but he had an accident.
Oh, no. Who's their backup?
Doesn't matter who their backup is now because the person that they'll have in the Super Bowl at that time is none other than Big Dick Nick.
You mean they don't trade for Jordan Love? Give your team 6 firsts for him?
I was going to say, how many firsts they got? Jordan Love's a hot commodity.
Is he? I'm about to drop him in the Dynasty League.
Oh, biggest mistake in your life.
He's been sitting on my Texas squad for 2 years doing absolutely nothing. Rodgers has a 4-year extension. Yeah. Anyways, you did some other stuff, Josh. Looks like you've got sheet 4 here. And then it looks like, did you update these comps? I don't know if you did or if you didn't. I don't know if you did anything with this comp sheet or not, but you definitely did something with sheet 4. So I guess kind of walk me through what all you've done, because I know I didn't contribute anything else.
I did something on the competitors.
Okay. Well, you take it away then, Josh. You got to lead, because I'm in uncharted territory at this point.
All right. So when it comes down to it all, I'm trying to see. Okay. So I got bored. Shocking, I know. And so I went through and I kind of I wanted to know which weeks we were in most agreement with during the season and which teams we were most in agreement with. So each game, not overall record, but each game. And so, because I know we had some that had zeros, like as far as the differences go, we had 7 teams that we agreed 100% with the records, which is actually pretty impressive. And then like 9 more with just 1 or 2 one game. And so I wanted to see how we like predicted each week on that, or each game on that. And Houston was the most in agreement as far as who they beat and who they lose to, with an 88.89% agreement. And then we got 3 teams at 83: Chicago, Dallas, and Green Bay. Atlanta, Jacksonville, Las Vegas, New England, Seattle, Tampa Bay, 77. And then we got a few 72s. Lowest couple, and this is what kind of shocks me. Cleveland, obviously, I think we had like an 8-game swing between wins and losses, or a 5-game swing. That's why I put that number there.
Yeah, I only gave him 3 wins. Al was not happy about it last week.
But San Fran, we had the exact same record, but only 44% in agreement as far as who they beat and who they lose to. So I don't know. I thought that was interesting.
That is interesting.
But then week-to-week agreement, we had 5, 6, and 16 as pretty much locked on, 87.5%. The worst couple of weeks, 3, 4, 13, and 15, less than 50%. But we got a lot of agreement over the span of things. Like I said, I got bored. I was really hoping for something like 100% on like 3 or 4 teams. Didn't happen.
No, yeah, our football minds are very different. It would be like, no one's ever going to care enough, but it would be interesting to go through and catalog our mocking process and like talk through it, but no one would ever watch that content. It would just be for us, and we'd have to go through the effort of making it, so it'll never happen. But it's interesting that we, especially with the 49ers, we have to give them the exact same record. There's only 17 games to choose from, and yet we only picked 44% of the same games. Very interesting.
Yeah. Whereas with like Chicago is 3 games off, and Chicago and Dallas, we had 3-game differences, and 83% in agreement. I don't know. I just found it to be a little bit interesting. Yeah. More so the San Fran thing, but whatever.
Oh, cool. Thanks for doing that. That's interesting for sure.
Yeah, that's my effort for the season.
Josh's like, and I am spent.
Yeah, oofta. Broke a sweat there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Guard. Do you have anything else for me?
I mean, you said you did do something on the comps page. Do you want to talk about that, or is that for another time, or was
no? That's
what you were reading
that's
through?
What I was just. Yeah, that's just what I was reading through.
Okay, yeah, I was on sheet 4 when you're going through that whole thing, but now that I look at it, it makes total sense that you are. Yeah, you put the math on the comps page from sheet 4. Okay, I got it. No, I mean, yeah, we talked about all 272 games of the regular season. We talked about our 14 playoff teams and our Super Bowl champion and our Super Bowl loser. I think that's about it. I mean, we don't need to go through the preseason schedule, really. I mean, next week we got the big draft coming up here, Josh. Saturday at the Ranges Haas, 4 p.m., featuring Walters as our sticker person, lovely sticker witch, Walters the witch. Yeah, it's going to be a good draft. Minute a pick. Just like last year, I'll be very interested to see Panic Man Walters, how he performs compared to kind of cool Connor last year. The timekeeper / sticker person, I think having them be very anxious and very panicky is going to be very interesting, but I'm here for it because I'll be ready for my pick every time. But yeah, I don't know. So all that's to say, next Wednesday we'll be grading the Hidden Oaks draft. We'll be going through everyone's teams, and hopefully we can get a couple celebrity draft graders. If not, you and I will just go through a bunch of bullshit like we do every year. And then the week following that, so I think it's 2 Wednesdays from now, or maybe that's when we switch to Tuesdays. I don't know. But the week before that, going into the regular season, we always do like some big fantasy preview. Big fantasy players we think we're going to do great, fantasy players we think we're going to do trash. I don't have to go look at an old note sheets for specifics, but those are the last 2 preseason pods. Only 2 pods until regular season football, and we're talking about week 1, Josh. So it's crazy. I'm excited, and I don't know. How do you think you're going to draft this weekend?
I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully better than last year.
Yeah? You don't want to be bottom of the league this year again?
I wasn't bottom.
I mean, bottom 3?
Have a little respect. Yeah, bottom 3.
I mean, what position are you drafting from? I know you weren't super high in your spot. I got draft position 7, which was picked by the person I broke up with, so that's... Or, I don't know, broke up with each other, I guess. But, I got draft position 7. Not sure how I feel about it. What do you got, 11, I think, off the top of my head?
I got 12.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, no, it was like between 12, 13, and I was like, 13's an unlucky number, so...
Sure.
12. I got 12 in this one and the Victoria's Secret League, so I just figured I'll get the exact same team, despite us having 2 more in the Hidden Oaks.
No, yeah, no chance of that. Do you think so? And we can just go, but I'm just curious. Do you not even saying if you would draft him or not, but do you think Kelsey falls all the way to 12 in this upcoming draft on Saturday with our league, or do you think Kelsey goes before 12? Because at first
Kelsey,
I was thinking about
yes.
taking him at 7, but then I was like, his ADP is like so much lower than that. So I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll take Henry or something else instead. Whoever falls to 7, some running back. But I don't know. Would I be reaching for Kelsey at 7?
I don't know, but I can almost guarantee, without even remembering the draft order, Jeremy or Brian will take Kelsey in the first.
I think so, huh? That's interesting.
I mean, they just streamed tight end in the first.
That's because Jeremy and Brian have a couple tight ends themselves, if you know what I mean.
Maybe.
All right, Josh. Well, that's all I got. And so assuming that's all you got, we can let the fine folks go. I am queued up to play the outro music for the first time in a while, but unless you got anything else, pal, we can let the people go, and I will see you on Saturday.
Yep, I will see you on Saturday. I have nothing else other than go Packers.
All right. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening. We will see you back here next Wednesday, sometime between 5 and 8, probably. Bye.
Bye. Love you.
Love you too.